Commander, we have arrived at Jump Station. Next deploy. Greetings, everybody. Today I have a new one for you. It's a system in the periphery known as Nueva Castile, or New Castile. Now, I'm going to give you what's in Sarna on it, and at the end I'm going to give you a take of how I think this was created. Okay, Nueva Castile is a small proto-state residing within the Deep Periphery. Though its territory has fluctuated over time, Castile possesses a region of space roughly 75 light-years in diameter, situated 150 light-years coreward from the Hanseatic League and 200 years anti-spin world from the Clan Jade Falcon colony on St. Jean. More than 200 years of continuous warfare and shared history has inextricably bound them to the Umayyad Caliphate, even resulting in the intermingling of some bloodlines. Wow, I'm having problems with this today. Though Castilian and Umayyad society has evolved together, there are still many differences. Brief history. Nueva Castile started as an early pre-Star League era colony. The first settlers were Iberian, which means Spanish and Portuguese, and landed on the world of Castile in 2392. These settlers established a feudal agrarian society. A total of 9 planets were settled on: Aragon, Asturias, Castile, Córdoba, Galicia, Granada, Leon, Navarra, and Valencia. Due to the great physical displacement between Nueva Castile and the inner sphere, the realm lingered in peace and isolation, unaware of war and foreign politics for over 400 years. My comment, this is almost like a isolated society when you think about it. You'll understand why I say so shortly. The history of this region of space changed fundamentally in 2830, when a single jump ship arrived in the Granada system. This jump ship transported a group of refugees armed with heretofore unknown technology, including battle mechs. That's how out of touch these people were. It is unknown where these invaders came from, or even if the invaders were aware of their origins, but their significant technological advantage resulted in the conquest of the planet Granada. The native Castilians dubbed the invaders the Umayyads, a reference to the Islamic Empire that invaded the Iberian Peninsula, the Spain, around 1.5 millennia before. The name stuck. Despite the small numbers of Umayyad forces, the Umayyad Caliphate quickly conquered several more worlds. By 2855, only the world of Asturias remained free of the Umayyad conquest. And if that sounds familiar to any of you that know anything about the Spanish Reconquista, it's almost like they took the history of Spain and wrote it into space. The Umayyad conquest of Nueva Castile would have been completed were it not for infighting resulting from the division of spoils. As a result, Castilian forces commanded by Ferdinand Rodriguez were able to capture a battle mech in 2857. By 2862, the Castilians had reverse engineered the technology and were fielding many primitive internal combustion engine powered mechs, enough to turn the tide of war. PG internal combustion engine, amazing. Between 2862 and 3062, the Castilians gradually liberated most of the worlds, first Castile and Leon, then Aragon, Navarra, Galicia, and Valencia. Only 2 worlds remained in Umayyad control: the disputed world of Córdoba and the Umayyad capital of Granada. 230 years plus reached a ceasefire when operatives working for the world of Blake revealed to both parties outside powers had been conspiring to prolong the conflict, aiding both sides in such ways as to prevent either from achieving a complete victory. Since this revelation, both parties have ceased full-scale war and have actually begun a process of reconciliation. Oof. This is where it really gets interesting. In 3080, Clan Goliath's Scorpion was abjured and forced out of the clan homeworlds. They invaded systems held by Nueva Castile and the Umayyad Caliphate, and formed the Scorpion Imperiado, the society now. And I'm not talking about clan society. Originally agrarian, Nueva Castile learned martial practices from their Umayyad rivals and are obsessed with the ousting of Umayyad interlopers. However, Castilians have ignored the Umayyads' emphasis on learning high culture, art, and science. Castilian society is a martial feudal system with a techno-barbaric people. Upward mobility in society is largely unheard of. Class and birth status dictate one's position. Further, the higher echelons within society wield absolute power over the underclasses. Much like the original Umayyad invaders, the liberation of the Castilian worlds has led to infighting and feuds. Assassination is a widely used political tool within the royal courts of the military. Nueva Castile is ruled by a king. The king is elected office, but once the position is attained, it is not relinquished until death. The king is chosen from among the ruling Principe. As a single person isolated from society, the king really only wields power among the Principe. The king mediates disputes, but as the Principe are lower class, the king is able to do what he will, including execute anyone for any infraction. Castilian society does not possess any currency. Trade is based on barter. Castilian society puts no merit in the arts or sciences. Democratic principles are absent. Castilian people speak Spanish and German and practice Christianity. That makes sense, okay? Though with the intermingling of Castilian and Umayyad peoples, especially on Asturias, some Castilian people may be better likened to the Umayyad. Now let's talk about the Nueva Castile military. Nueva Castile learned the art of warfare from the Umayyad, so they fight in much the same way. They maintain large combined arms military supported by small units of BattleTechs. In the field, the army fights as lances of infantry, combat vehicles, and mechs. These units fight as mixed companies. Castilian technology is roughly equivalent to that of the Inner Sphere in 3025. As of 3075, Nueva Castile is the only nation known to still be operating Manatee-class mech-transporting dropships. Never heard of that until this article, but interesting. Rank within the Castilian military, like everything else within Nueva Castile, is based on hereditary status. Feuds, disputes, and assassination are commonplace. The military is centrally commanded and supplied, with both roles ultimately controlled by the king. Therefore, it is of great importance that the sovereign is not offended, or this may lead to some very dangerous assignment, a lack of war material, or simply summary execution. In fact, each rung within the Castilian society wields the same absolute power over all the lower classes. All of these factors conspire to make the Castilian military nowhere near as effective as its numerically superiority over the Umayyads would indicate. Castilian dress is a dark red jacket and black trousers, and not so ceremonial. Pistol or dagger is normally worn to the sash tied around the waist. So basically, it's for purpose, not a ceremonial. The Castilian society is material in nature. Military and civilian ranks are interchangeable. Principe, a duke with command of combined arms regiment. Comandante, a marquis. At the discretion of the Principe or the king, commandants can be given military command, generally a battalion. Majors. Majors are appointed commanders of companies. Captain, a baron. Captains are appointed commanders of lances. Caballero is a frontline soldier. Organization. In 3025, the forces were calculated to be around 20 armored regiments, bolstered by 2 battle mech regiments that operate in battalion-sized formations. Later, the Castilian military was composed of 24 regiments, 2 of which were battle mechs. Mech assets were grouped in commands of battalion size or smaller, and generally never take the field in significant numbers. Each brigada, oh boy, I'm going to use Spanish, within the Castilian military is generally arranged in the same fashion. 6 combined armed regiments with 1 or more individual attached mech battalion size or smaller commands. The 1st Brigada possesses the heaviest Castilian mechs. Though originally an assault force, the spearhead of the Reconquista is now mainly defensive force stationed in the Castilian capital, Asturias. The 2nd Brigada possesses smaller mechs and is currently stationed in the Umayyad world of Cordoba. The 2nd is the real assault force of the Castilian military, though since the ceasefire it is only involved in raids. The 3rd Brigada is rather green and poorly trained. It defends Leon, Castile, and Aragon. The 4th Brigada defends Navarre, Valencia, and Galicia. During the early 3060s, the 4th assaulted Cordova with the 2nd. However, their inexperience led to their own slaughter, from which they are still rebuilding. The relations. Castilian policies toward outsiders have been traditionally cordial, as they sought outside intervention and even trade to gain the decisive advantage required to conquer the Umayyad. The Hanseatic League, unbeknownst to Nueva Castile, used the state affairs to their advantage. The League effectively shaped the course of recent Castilian Umayyad history by brokering mercenary deals and supplying arms in such a way as to prolong the strife. It was not until the late 3060s that the true extent of this interference was realized, though both sides only recognized the Hansa as free traders. And the Hansa is the name of what they call the Hanseatic League. The Castilians believed that the inner sphere power, specifically the League Alliance, not the Hanseatic League, meddled in their domestic affairs. Since the revelation that outsiders have secretly meddled in the Castilian politics, relative peace has endured, with only small raiding parties occasionally drawing blood, and there are signs of 2 nationalities maybe uniting. Further, a large influx of recruits have been responded to the desire for vengeance against the Illyrian alliance. However, centuries of mistrust make it almost unlikely that the Umayyads or the Castilians will ever be able to mobilize against a successor state. In 3067, the King of Castile, King Joseph Noel, is described as a cruel and ruthless paranoid. Well, folks, that's what I have about the Nueva Castile, or New Castile. Castilian is a Spanish spoken in Spain. It's the language I speak. I think it was hysterical when I found this. I found this because I saw a book on the planet Valencia, which got me interested. And I read that book, and all of a sudden I understood what was going on. And then when I read the New Castile information on Sarna, it became evident that basically someone decided to take the Spanish and Portuguese with some German, in other words, the fascists, Nazi German fascists that went to Spain after World War II and snuck into Spain, and get them out of the inner sphere into a space where I'm actually surprised that, well, the clans didn't come in through that part of space. That's why they didn't find Nueva Castile. Because if they would have found mechs powered by gas-powered turbines, and I think they would have laughed and said, we'll take on the inner sphere with even less power than we have. Oh, but this was fun reading this, and it's just totally interesting what I found. What you're seeing on the screen is the Crown of Castile, the Clan Goliath Scorpion, the map of the location of the Nueva Castile Umayyad Caliphate, along with the planets St. Jean, Ramsey, Santiago, and Kinbrace, with the Hanseatic League below them, and a map of the actual Nueva Castile, where the location of the planets and where the brigades are and corps can be found. Hope you like this. I've undecided whether I want to do the planet Valencia or the planet Cordoba. I have information on both of those, and it's just a matter of time before I do another one. I hope to do an interview of one of my fellow BattleTech players out of Critical Hits Games, but one thing at a time. and I hope you guys like this. To me, it was hysterical, reading and rereading and then writing it and then cleaning it up in order to speak to you guys. That's all I have. Thank you.